Law enforcement in the United States is extremely complex and confusing. There isn't just one type of police. There are various federal, state, local, and tribal police that enforce the various laws of the nation. And while all of them are law enforcement officers, not all of them share the same job title. Their titles range from sheriffs, troopers, deputies, you name it, but one sticks out because it has a pretty cool name: the Special Agent. Almost everyone is familiar with the term Special Agent, but no, that job title is not just reserved for the FBI. There are a wide variety of Special Agents within US law enforcement, so much so that it's actually kind of overwhelming. You'll be surprised by some of the Special Agents that are out there. Let's just say there's literally an alphabet soup of agencies that have Special Agents, each with their unique purpose and function. But even though they share the same title, what they do can greatly vary. If only it were that simple. With that said, why do we have so many types of Special Agents? How many are there? And what exactly do they all do? I'm going to answer all those questions for you, and much more. What's up, guys? I'm Veteran Vinny, the voice behind General Discharge. Join me as I take a deep dive into the various Special Agents of US law enforcement. This is United States Special Agents. Before I begin my rundown of the different types of Special Agents and what they do, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of Special Agents in general. First, let's take a look at the term Special Agent. We all know what special means, but an agent is a person who acts on behalf of someone or something else. Special Agents work on behalf of the government, and they of course had to be called Special Agents, not just agents. Who doesn't want to be special? In United States law enforcement, Special Agents are typically synonymous with criminal investigators, which have a federal government job series of 1811. Officially, 1811 is the Federal Criminal Investigator Classification Series established by the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. OPM defined this series to include positions that involve planning and conducting investigations relating to alleged or suspected violations of criminal laws. Special Agents investigate crimes, but who's going to help you with the data brokers that are making a fortune selling your personal information? If you're using Aura, today's sponsor, you won't have to worry about that. It's a really important time to be talking about identity theft because hackers may have stolen the social security numbers of every American. Yes, I'm not kidding. Over 2.9 billion records were stolen from national public data, which include full names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and social security numbers. And the worst part? Members of the hacker group have reportedly released this information for free online. If you weren't taking precautions with your personal information online before, then this should be a huge wake-up call. You've never been more vulnerable online than you are right now. But I'm not too worried about my personal information because I use Aura. Aura alerts me if they find my phone number, email, or social security number on the dark web. They're going to let me know fast if anyone tries to use this information to access my credit or bank accounts. And they even give me up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. They also provide a bunch of other features to keep me safe online, all inside one app. The reality is that it's on us to protect our personal data, but you don't have to do it alone. We could all use some peace of mind with Aura. You can go to our link, aura.com/generaldischarge, to try 14 days for free. That will be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. Don't let people exploit and profit off your private information. Again, that's aura.com/generaldischarge for your 14-day free trial. Links in the description or pinned comment below, or you can scan the QR code on screen. Now back to the video. You can take an FBI Special Agent and an IRS Special Agent, and yes, the IRS does have those, and they will both share the same job series of 1811 and hold the same title of Special Agent. However, their mission and purpose are drastically different. But here's where things get even more confusing. There are some 1811 positions that serve the same function as other Special Agents, but they're not called Special Agents. You'll see what I mean later on in the video. Regardless, all Special Agents are law enforcement officers. They carry a gun, have arresting powers, you get the deal. But their primary duties involve working cases and conducting investigations. They're not out there conducting traffic stops for speeding like you see in Cops or Live PD. And they certainly don't run and gun as much as you see in the TV shows. They serve a unique role in law enforcement, and you're about to see that no type of special agent is equal. Those who join these career fields typically spend several months to years in the application process because these jobs require lengthy background checks and strict requirements. These jobs aren't something you can get hired to do in a few days after an interview. With that brief overview out of the way, let's talk about our first type of special agent, FBI Special Agents. As I said at the beginning of the video, when special agents are discussed, most people think of FBI Special Agents. The FBI is known as the premier law enforcement agency in the United States. It has the most funding and recognition. TV shows, movies, memes, and the media all talk about the FBI all of the time. And for many, becoming an FBI agent is a lifelong dream. FBI Special Agents investigate all crimes that have a federal nexus. What that means is that if a federal law is broken, an FBI agent will have jurisdiction to investigate and build a case against someone or something that is breaking that law. Because of how gigantic the FBI is, there are over 200 categories of federal crimes that its special agents collectively investigate. Whether it's drugs, financial crimes, violent crimes, or counterterrorism, the FBI will investigate it all. This is what separates FBI agents from other federal agents, because some agencies will have a focus or area of violations they focus on, whereas the FBI offers a wide variety of violations to work on. Therefore, no two special agents in the FBI will have an identical career experience. FBI Special Agents also have the opportunity to join the Hostage Rescue Team, commonly referred to as HRT, which is considered a Tier 1 equivalent of U.S. military special operations forces. HRT is the gold standard for domestic counterterrorism and hostage rescue. All FBI Special Agents receive their training at the FBI Academy Basic Field Training Course, or BFTC, in Quantico, Virginia, which lasts around 18 weeks. With FBI Special Agents covered, let's move on to another well-known special agent career field, Secret Service Special Agents. Yet another household name in the special agent community is the Secret Service. After the attempt on Trump in the summer of 2024, almost everyone saw the role the Secret Service Special Agents play, which is to protect the president, vice president, and other top government officials. They are quite literally paid to take a bullet for the president if need be, and they all receive extensive training on VIP protection. But there's much more to being a Secret Service agent than meets the eye. Secret Service agents also play a big role in investigating crimes. In fact, when they were created in 1865, they weren't even made to protect the president. That came later. It was made to investigate counterfeit currency. Today, Secret Service Special Agents still investigate counterfeiting, but they also look into credit card fraud, wire and bank fraud, computer network breaches, ransomware, and other cyber-enabled financial crimes. But make no mistake, a big portion of a Secret Service agent's career is doing protection work. The service even breaks down an agent's career progression into different phases, where in one phase they're investigating crimes, and in others they are solely doing protection details. Secret Service agents can join HAMMER, which stands for Hazardous Agents Mitigation Medical Emergency Response Team. HAMMER agents support the agency's protective mission through chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear detection and intervention, emergency medical support, and rescue extrication capabilities. And then there's also CAT, or Counter Assault Team. The Secret Service definitely gets creative with their acronyms. CAT is the Secret Service's tactical team whose primary function is to divert, suppress, and neutralize an organized attack against a protectee, motorcade, or supported location. The Secret Service agents receive their training at the Criminal Investigator Training Program at FLETC for several months, and then attend an 18-week special agent training course where they learn the specifics of their job and protective duties. With Secret Service Special Agents covered, let's move on to HSI Special Agents. HSI Special Agents are not typically among the most recognized types of special agents by the general public, but that doesn't stop them from the impact they make nor the awesome career field and opportunities they have. HSI stands for Homeland Security Investigations. HSI is a premier federal law enforcement agency within the Department of Homeland Security. It is one of the largest federal investigative agencies within DHS and the United States law enforcement as a whole. HSI agents conduct federal criminal investigations into the illegal movement of people, people, goods, money, contraband, weapons, and sensitive technology info out of and through the United States. They also conduct criminal and civil investigations involving national security threats, terrorism, drug smuggling, child exploitation, human trafficking, illegal arms export, financial crimes, identity fraud, benefit fraud, commercial fraud, and much more. One of the tactical opportunities HSI Special Agents have is to join the HSI Special Response Team, or SRT for short. SRTs are responsible for performing high-risk arrests and search warrants, providing VIP security detail and protection, supporting rural area operations, and providing sniper coverage. These are part-time positions, however, and each special agent is still working a caseload on top of their SRT duties. In order to become an HSI Special Agent, trainees go through 2 phases of training. The first one is at FLETC's Criminal Investigator Training Program for about 12 weeks. Upon graduation from there, HSI Special Agent trainees are required to undergo further agency-specific training at the HSI's Special Agent Training Program for about 13 weeks. With HSI Special Agents covered, let's move on to DEA Special Agents. If you've seen the show Narcos, then you know you have a good gist of what DEA Special Agents are all about. DEA, which stands for Drug Enforcement Administration, has a rich history in combating drug lords and kingpins, ranging from Pablo Escobar to El Chapo. Unlike the other agencies discussed thus far, the DEA is more of a one-trick pony when it comes to its investigations. Its mission is to enforce the controlled substance laws and regulations of the United States, in combating drug trafficking and its distribution. It has the sole responsibility for coordinating and pursuing U.S. drug investigations both domestic and abroad. In other words, they focus on drug crimes. DEA Special Agents are known to be the subject matter experts when it comes to building cases on these types of violations. For those that would be interested in working as a DEA Special Agent, just understand that they have a much narrower scope and purpose than other special agents do. The DEA's tactical team that special agents can join is called the DEA Special Response Team, or SRT for short. DEA SRT's missions include high-risk arrests, vehicle assaults, air assault and infiltration, specialized surveillance, custody of high-profile individuals, dignitary and witness protection, tactical surveillance and interdiction, advanced breaching, tactical training to other police units, and urban and rural fugitive searches. These guys are no joke. To become a DEA Special Agent, candidates must attend a 16-week basic agent training program at the DEA Academy in Quantico, Virginia. With DEA Special Agents covered, let's move on to MCIO Special Agents. MCIO stands for Military Criminal Investigative Organization. In a nutshell, MCIOs are agencies that solve crimes for the US military. The most commonly known one is NCIS, or the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, because so many shows about them are out there. But there's also the Defense Criminal Investigative Service, Army Criminal Investigation Division, Marine Corps Criminal Investigation Division, Air Force Office of Special Investigations, and the Coast Guard Investigative Service. Special agents in these agencies range from civilian special agents to active duty military special agents. Yes, there are military members who can serve in the function of a special agent, which is pretty cool. MCIO special agents investigate crimes that have a nexus to their particular branch of service. For example, if a crime happens on a naval base, NCIS will take over. If a crime happens on an army base, Army CID takes over. It can get much more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it all. These special agents can often find themselves working overseas because US military bases are all over the world, and you never know where a crime might strike. This means that the special agents can even find themselves in combat environments, which is pretty cool. This makes them unique from other special agents because most of them generally stick to domestic matters. The training an MCIO special agent goes through to become an agent depends on whether they're a civilian or in the military, but most of them attend the Criminal Investigator Training Program in FLETC and follow-on training for their specific agency. With MCIO special agents covered, let's move on to Deputy U.S. Marshals. Notice how I'm not calling these guys special agents, because even though they're 1811 criminal investigators, their job title is a Deputy U.S. Marshal. The U.S. Marshals are a quasi-criminal investigator agency, but I'm going to jump into the weeds for a second because not all Marshals are 1811s. New deputies are hired at the GS0082 series, and later on, they can be eligible for promotion to the GS1811 series after demonstrating satisfactory performance. Deputy U.S. Marshals as a whole mainly work in fugitive operations, operations, prisoner transport and processing, and judicial security. They're the ones you call when you need help tracking down a fugitive, and they apprehend more fugitives per year than all other law enforcement agencies combined. But make no mistake, Deputy U.S. Marshals also play a big role with prisoners. The Marshals house over 63,000 prisoners throughout the country, and new deputies should expect their initial service to involve prisoner transport and processing. Placements on fugitive task forces are highly sought after positions among the Marshal Service. And to touch on judicial security, they provide protection to various federal judges, magistrates, and other court officials inside and outside the courtroom. They also manage the Witness Security Program. The tactical unit that Deputy U.S. Marshals can join is the U.S. Marshals Special Operations Group, or SOG for short. SOG is an elite unit tasked with executing dangerous missions, such as capturing dangerous fugitives and providing security for high-risk situations. Deputy U.S. Marshals are forged over at FLETC at the 18-week Basic Deputy U.S. Marshal Integrated Training. For those interested in this career field, understand that the application process is extremely backed up. With Deputy U.S. Marshals covered, let's move on to ATF Special Agents. ATF stands for Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. There must be a silent E in there somewhere. ATF Special Agents investigate and prevent federal offenses involving the unlawful use, manufacture, and possession of firearms and explosives. The ATF is the agency primarily responsible for dealing with acts of arson and bombings, and it also investigates illegal trafficking and tax evasion of alcohol and tobacco products. ATF Special Agents work closely with local, state, tribal, and federal partners, including law enforcement, public safety officials, scientists, and forensics experts. They also serve as specialists on various joint task forces aimed at tackling firearms trafficking, violent crime, and terrorism. In these interagency efforts, ATF Special Agents interview suspects and witnesses, conduct surveillance, make arrests, secure and execute search warrants, and search for physical evidence, often with the assistance of ATF's K-9 teams. The tactical units that ATF Special Agents can join are the Special Response Teams, or SRT for short. SRTs are elite tactical groups that rapidly respond to high-risk law enforcement operations and conduct criminal investigations that lead to the arrests of the most violent criminals in the United States. Their work includes search and arrest warrants, high-risk criminal investigations, undercover operations, surveillance operations, and protective service operations. ATF Special Agents can serve in these on a part-time or full-time basis. In order to become an ATF Special Agent, candidates must complete the 12-week Criminal Investigator Training Program at FLETC, and then the 15-week ATF Special Agent Basic Training course. With ATF Special Agents covered, let's move on to DSS Special Agents. DSS, which stands for Diplomatic Security Service, is the federal law enforcement and security element of the United States Department of State. DSS Special Agents protect diplomatic assets, personnel, and information while also combating visa and passport fraud. Because of the unique nature of the DSS Special Agents are one of a kind. They are both foreign service members and federal law enforcement officers with investigatory and arresting powers. And because of this dual role, DSS Special Agents actually have the job series code of 2501, with very few of them actually being in 1811. DSS agents move around every few years and are required to serve overseas. They serve different functions when they're working in the US versus abroad. When they're domestic, they conduct criminal investigations related to passport and visa fraud, serve on task forces, and do lots of paperwork and administrative tasks just like other special agents. But when they go overseas, they are diplomats first, protection second, and criminal investigators third. Definitely a cool dynamic. DSS Special Agents can join the DSS's tactical unit, which is known as Mobile Security Deployments, or MSD for short. MSDs are a 24-hour, on-call crisis response element. MSD units support the State Department's critical needs both domestically and abroad by responding to disasters, terrorist attacks, and providing enhanced capabilities in support of protective details in high-threat situations. In order to become a DSS Special Agent, candidates must complete the 12-week Criminal Investigator Training Program at FLETC. Then they move on to their 12-week-long follow-on training at the Foreign Affairs Security Training Center in Blackstone, Virginia. Lastly, DSS is known to have one of the more difficult application processes compared to other special agent positions. With DSS Special Agents covered, let's move on to OIG Special Agents. OIG stands for Office of Inspector General. The OIG acts as a watchdog for government agencies, ensuring they operate efficiently and without wrongdoing. 1811 OIG Special Agents support OIG's mission by conducting worldwide investigations into allegations of criminal, civil, and administrative violations. I'm going to rapid fire some OIG Special Agents for you so you can see just how vast this is. There's DOJ OIG, CIA OIG, and while on the topic of the CIA, those CIA people you see in the movies and shows are CIA officers, not special agents. CIA OIG is completely different. Anyway, back to the list. There's USDA OIG, DOL OIG, DOE OIG, HHS OIG, DOT OIG, EPA OIG, OPM OIG, USPS OIG, DOC OIG, the list goes on and on and on. There's even the HOA OIG. Just kidding. Oftentimes, OIG gigs for special agents are a bit more relaxed of an 1811 role than others out there. Many special agents will transfer over to one of these later in their careers to have a better quality of life or work-life balance. I'm not even going to begin to dive into the various work OIG special agents do because we'd be here for days. With OIG special agents covered, let's move on to the Postal Inspectors. Postal Inspectors are special agent equivalents that work in the United States Postal Inspection Service, which is one of the oldest federal law enforcement agencies that traces its roots all the way back to 1772. Again, they do the same work as special agents and are 1811s, but they're not called special agents. That's the government for you. Postal Inspectors support and protect the U.S. Postal Service, its employees, infrastructure, and customers by enforcing the laws that defend the nation's mail system from illegal or dangerous use. It has jurisdiction over anything that has a nexus to the U.S. Postal Service. If you rob a mailman, send some illegal drugs through the mail, or you open someone else's mail, the Postal Inspectors will have the authority to investigate you. There are approximately 200 federal crimes that can be committed that involve the mail, and range from external crimes, narcotics, mail fraud, workplace violence, and security. Postal Inspectors unfortunately do not have any tactical teams like the FBI, Marshals, DEA, and other agencies, so you won't be seeing them run and gun as much as other special agents out there. The training one has to go through to become a postal inspector happens at the 16-week basic inspector training course held in Potomac, Maryland. With the postal inspectors covered, let's move on to IRS Special Agents. Yep, even the IRS has special agents. Make sure you do your taxes, folks. The Internal Revenue Service has a criminal investigation part to it, which investigates potential criminal violations of the Internal Revenue Code and related financial crimes in a manner that fosters confidence in the tax system and compliance with the law. While other special agents also have investigative jurisdiction for money laundering and some Bank Secrecy Act violations, IRS special agents are the only ones that can investigate potential criminal violations of the Internal Revenue Code. This means that a lot of other special agents often work jointly with IRS special agents because literally any criminal who makes money illegally is violating some tax law. What makes IRS special agents really unique in the federal law enforcement community is that they all have some financial or accounting background, which is a requirement for those who apply for the position. People who defraud the government nowadays have some pretty sophisticated schemes, so these agents really need to have the analytical ability to look through complex paperwork and computerized financial records. They're also trained to recover computer evidence and use specialized forensic technology to recover financial data that may have been encrypted, password protected, or hidden by other electronic means. To become an IRS special agent, candidates must complete the 12-week criminal investigator training program at FLETC, then move on to their own 14-week special agent investigative techniques course. With IRS special agents covered, let's move on to miscellaneous special agents. First things first, there's no such thing as miscellaneous special agents, and I'm by no means demeaning any of the ones that are discussed here. I'm calling this the miscellaneous section because if I were to go through every single type of special agents, not even counting the OIGs, this video would last for hours. And by now, you probably all get the point of what special agents do, even if we're talking about different agencies. But let's go through a few more cool special agent positions. If you know of any others that weren't discussed here, feel free to leave a comment about them. There are Bureau of Indian Affairs Special Agents. The BIA, along with the FBI, are the primary federal agencies for Indian country. In a nutshell, BIA special agents work federal crimes on reservations. While BIA isn't that prominent in the East, it is the primary federal law enforcement on most reservations out west. The BIA is a pretty small agency, and it often has just one or two of its special agents covering huge areas and multiple reservations. There are also EPA CID special agents, which work cases that involve environmental crimes, as well as those that pose significant threats to human health and the environment. A super niche 1811 position is the Smithsonian 1811. Yes, it really exists. If you didn't know, the Smithsonian Institution is the world's largest museum, education, and research complex. 1811s who are hired here are typically retired agents, but it's a really unique role in the criminal investigator community. There are also Fish and Wildlife Special Agent 1811s, who enforce federal wildlife laws throughout the United States. They target crimes, such as wildlife trafficking and habitat destruction, that undermine U.S. efforts to conserve wildlife resources. This is definitely for the outdoorsy types, just like the U.S. Forest Service Special Agents, who work cases concerning possible violations of criminal and administrative provisions of the Forest Service and other statutes under the U.S. Code. And the last one I'll mention here is the Bureau of Land Management Special Agents, who, among other things, investigate crimes on federal public lands, including vandalism and looting of archaeological, paleontological, and culturally significant sites. As you've just learned here today, there are a ton of different types of special agents in United States law enforcement, and I didn't even begin to touch on state police special agents. The laws and regulations in this country are super complex, which is why there needs to be several types of agencies and special agents that can specialize in certain areas and niches. If any of you who are watching this want to be a special agent one day, I highly recommend you go check out the subreddit r/1811. It's full of current, retired, and former special agents who share a wealth of knowledge on the 1811 career field. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Ever wonder what the difference between federal, state, and local police is? I give you a simple, easy to understand breakdown of it all in this video. Scan the QR code on screen or go to the link in the description to go check it out. Well, that is the down and dirty of United States Special Agents. If you learned something from this video, make sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. As always, thank you for watching. Do you even want to be here?
All your friends are subscribing to General Discharge, and you don't even want to be here.